morning, guys! 皆さんこんにちは、アリーです。Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Ali. So guys, as you saw in the title, today's vlog is going to be dedicated to Japanese studying this whole week, except that I'm actually starting this vlog on Tuesday. Today is Tuesday instead of Monday, just because yesterday I didn't do any Japanese studying, but I will do some today for sure, so I will bring you along with me from today. This is actually a highly requested format on my channel, to do focus vlogs, weekly study vlogs on one of my languages at a time. So I've done it for Chinese a few weeks ago. Today we're doing Japanese, and then of course I will do Russian in the future, and I will just repeat whenever I feel like I have enough things to tell you guys for a particular week regarding the study of one language. So this week I'm actually quite busy with Japanese studying. I'm going to tell you guys what we'll focus on this week for Japanese studying. So if you guys don't know me or my background, I'm actually studying 3 languages at the same time this year. I'm studying Japanese at advanced level, and so this week for what we're going to be focusing on with Japanese studying, I have my language study journal right here with TG on the cover, and here is my weekly study list. And so for Japanese this week, we're going to be focusing on finishing the Shinkansen Master for N1 Kanji. I've been using this textbook for a few months. I think I started it in December last year. Really enjoyed using it, but now it's time to finish it and actually move on to a new resource. And so part of my weekly study list this week is actually to audit a new resource. I haven't chosen yet which one I'm going to focus on afterwards. I am still battling with 2 in my head, so I'll eventually present you guys with the one I eventually choose. I don't know yet. And then the last thing I want to do, well, at least the last thing that's on my list for Japanese, which is a non-negotiable, is to at least do some technical listening immersion practice with at least 1 video this week. Then apart from my non-negotiables list, I actually want to finish 1 manga which I've started. I want to finish it probably by today, and then read at least another one, maybe the 3rd one in that particular series. And then apart from this, I also want to make some good progress on the novel I'm reading right now, If We Can't Go at the Speed of Light, which I love. This is Korean science fiction, and I've got the Japanese translation of it, and it's amazing. I just want to dive into it a little bit more this week, and if I can finish it by this week, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself for this because I also have a lot to do otherwise. So that's it for the program of this week. I hope you're excited, and of course I will bring you along with me anytime I do anything that's on this list or with regards to a Japanese immersion. Alright, so I've got my coffee, we've got Ki-chan right here. Petit bébé chat. Coucou mon cœur. Say hi to everyone. Whee! And I've got my manga here, Nami Uraraka ni Meoto Biori, number 2, volume 2 of this manga, and I was at 9% read, so let's continue reading. Alright, so I edited the whole morning this morning, and so now it is almost 12 p.m. We've just been to McDonald's and we've eaten already. We've eaten lunch, so now it's time to get back to reading my manga. Just have a break for a little while before I go back to my video editing. Good morning, guys. guys. So I didn't end up studying Japanese yesterday, more Japanese. I didn't end up studying at all actually any language, so I need to make up for it today. That's because I prioritized going into the YouTube editing hall yesterday. I needed to upload my new video, so I was focused on that. Anyway, today is the day I will finish this bad boy, my Shinkansen Master for N1 Kanji. I only have the last part of the textbook to cover, which is Chikara Dameshi, the third part. It's only a few pages and I'm very excited to finish it, be done with this textbook. Even though I loved it, I just need to, finish it, move on to new things and new exciting things, new resources. So I'm going to go to town right now, go to one of my favorite cafes. I'm hoping it will give me extra motivation to finish this. So I'm only going to take this textbook and I'm also going to take my book here, 私たちが光の速さで進めないなら, to read afterwards as a reward for finishing my textbook. And I think that's it, guys. Let's go! So here is me finally finishing the Shinkansen Master for N1 Kanji after many months using this textbook, which I started back in December last year. And it took me over an hour and a half actually, way more than I thought it would, to finish the last 20 pages of it. The last 20 pages were composed of tests to test me on whether or not I would recognize readings of kanji characters, followed by exercises to test me on whether or not I would understand the meaning of some kanji resembling each other. And the last part was all about reading comprehension of newspaper articles, which were definitely quite difficult and which overall took me a lot of brain juice to go over. I was very happy to finish it. I did make a few mistakes, so it was a good indicator for me as to what was left for me to cover and to know. So definitely there are some knowledge gaps here which I can't wait to fill in, but in any case I was very happy to finish this textbook finally, and I was quite ready to move on to the next one. Good evening, guys. It's already Thursday. I didn't film more yesterday after finishing my Shinkansen Master textbook. I think, I was done for the day with Japanese. I didn't want to study anymore because then it took me, as I told you, a little bit more than an hour and a half. So I thought it was enough time given to Japanese for one day. And then I ended up reading a little bit on the train, but it was so crowded that I didn't want to, film anything. But I did read a little bit. I started the next short story in my short story collection. And then today I haven't done Japanese study so far. So that's what I'm going to focus on a little bit tonight. I will do some listening immersion while I'm eating. That's the reality of, how my weeks go. Usually during the week, I don't do that much Japanese studying, to be honest with you, because I tend to usually focus on my Chinese and my Russian during the week, and I leave my more intensive Japanese study for the weekends. In the broad sense of the term, that's usually what happens. So yesterday was a bit of an exception, and that's also why I don't have much to film you guys during the week for a Japanese study focused vlog. So I guess I will see you guys later tonight when I'm doing my listening immersion practice. So for my weekly listening immersion practice this week, I chose a video on history on At-chan's channel. I love his channel and I particularly love his videos on history, and the video I'm watching today was from a particular World History Series remake which he is currently still uploading on his channel, and this was the third video in that series. They're overall quite interesting. I first started watching it while I was eating, and then because this video was very long, in fact more than an hour duration, I then kept watching it while I did my home fitness. But I don't wanna be like you, 'cause I could do better. I could do better. I could do better. Good morning guys, happy Friday. I'm about to go to the cafe this morning to finally do my audit of the new resource I'm going to use for Japanese study. I finally decided on one resource and it's going to be this one, Otona no Goiryoku. I've decided on this one. I have a lot of resources at the moment that I haven't gone through yet for Japanese. I'm looking at my shelf right there. I think I have at least 9 or something. And then I have more than that on my list of resources that I want to use. So I'm not out of resources at all. I do have a lot that I want to go through. And then I'm always struggling deciphering which one I should use next. Obviously, I just finished the Shinkansen Master for kanji. And I feel like, I indeed got a lot of improvement in my kanji knowledge thanks to that textbook, but not enough. So I still need to cover kanji study intensively from now on. I'm not done with kanji study, that's what I'm trying to say. However, looking at what my current Japanese is lacking, I definitely think that vocab should be my priority right now. I definitely need to upgrade my vocab range. So I figured that I would use a mix from now on of resources for N1 level and resources for Japanese natives and specifically adults. So that's where I'm coming from with this resource that is specifically designed for Japanese natives and specifically adults and for them to develop their vocab range. So I feel like I would benefit definitely from using such a resource. That's why I bought it in the first place. I really hesitated between using that kind of resource right now for Japanese natives for vocab or using an N1 level vocab resource. But in the end, I think I'm more excited to start using this one right now because my other option was the Shinkansen Master for N1 vocab. But since I just used the Shinkansen Master, I just want to cut the streak and use another type of resource in the middle, and then maybe I'll do the Shinkansen Master for vocab. In my head, it makes sense. Tell me guys if it does make sense in reality. So I'm gonna do the audit of this textbook with you guys later at the cafe. Also, I wanted to say that I'm not very happy with myself regarding my reading in Japanese this week, my reading in general, because I have read, but I mostly read my manga this week so far, and we're already Friday, so I really need to at least cover the next short story on my Korean science fiction short story collection, because if I don't read regularly this book, I will never be finished with it in a reasonable amount of time, and I keep forgetting that it's there and I just need to open it. And even if I read 2 pages at a time, it's still progress, and I just need to keep reminding myself of this. It's such a struggle. I'm much more likely to take my iPad and read my ebook manga instead of picking up my novel, even though it's right there. It's always following me around. So on my desk, if I'm on my desk, in the living room, on the table, in the living room, on the other table, it's always following me around, and yet I don't know what's keeping me. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that because I'm really struggling this week to read my novel. It happens. So I'm taking my novel with me to the cafe, and once I'll be done with the audit of my new textbook and probably the start of it, studying the start of that new textbook, I will read my novel. I need to read my novel. Guys, you will be my accountability partner on this, so you watching are making me read that novel. So here is me finally starting the audit of this new practice book I wanted to start, Otona no Goiryoku. This was a time for me to really sit down with this new practice book and see what was covered in it. So I literally started from the first page. And my audits of textbooks and practice books usually always go the same way. I start with the first page. I read all of the explanations that are written there just to understand what the purpose of the book is and what is the advice on how to cover the book in question. In this case, there were very extensive explanations as to how the practice book should be covered. Each of the 5 chapters covering a very specific aspect of vocab. and making sure that one double page a day for a total of 54 days. Knowing that, I immediately thought to myself that for 54 days was a bit too long for me, that I could definitely cover the whole of this book in half of that time, which is the program I ended up with in the end. So this is my intention on the time it will take me to cover this textbook, at least the time frame I want to cover this textbook in. My audit times are also a time for me to understand how I want to cover a new book in particular. So do I want to take notes while covering it? Do I want to highlight anything in the book while I study with it? Do I want to use audio recordings that come with the textbook? By the end of my audit phase, I should be able to know exactly how I'm going to use the textbook, for how long, and also how long it's going to take me per study session with the textbook to go through it. For this book in particular, the audit phase was quite short. It took me about 20 minutes, and then I jumped straight in and covered the first few pages to see exactly how it was structured and whether or not the level was correct for me. And it was indeed, so I was very happy, and I could also tell right away that I was going to like using this practice book. Overall, a very successful audit session. Hi guys, it's much later during the day. My glasses are not straight. But I'm about to read a bit of my book right now. Still the same book. I'm still trying to fit any reading time I can during the day, so that's me taking like even 5 minutes to continue my reading. So here is me properly going through and covering almost the whole of chapter 1 out of 5 in my Otona no Goiryoku practice book. It took me 2 hours to cover about a week's worth of practice pages. I learned a lot of new words there, and I was very happy to do so because that was exactly why I started using this book and why I purchased it in the first place. So it was entirely fulfilling the role I thought it would, and that gave me a lot of joy.
とかをもう棚に入りきらないのと、ちょっと取り出したりベッドに立てかけてますね。恐ろしいです。ちゃんと靴はここに飾る。
Hi guys, it's me. So as you saw, I read quite a lot just now. I finished the 3rd volume of the manga I was reading. Very cute, still very interesting. It took me like a little more than 45 minutes to finish reading that. I was at like 50%, I think. And I actually still want to read some more today, so I finished technically my study goals for the week for Japanese, but regarding my reading immersion goals, I'm not there yet, and I really want to read more of my novel before today ends, before the week ends. So that's what I will do, but I will do it later because right now it's only 3 p.m. and I want to focus on Russian. So I will talk to you later, guys, when I get to reading my novel. And as I finish reading the short story I was reading this week with you guys, this is also the time for me to end today's video, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this week's weekly vlog focused on my Japanese studying. I will definitely make more of these in the future, so if you have any questions regarding my Japanese studying in particular, please feel free to leave them down below and I will answer them in my next Japanese focused weekly vlog. Thank you for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye! Mata ne!